Hi everyone, we're back for day 19. Now I'm starting method 1 of the process with the binding. Now the little bit is somewhere around, but we're not worrying about this yet. This is just our bare bones cover. I've got just a bit of cardboard, and this bit of cardboard fits right in here to this size. I've also got a piece of material. Now I've made it quite wide. I'm going to be stitching through this and through that backing, and then gluing this down once the signatures are stuck to that. So we may take 2 days to do this as well, and then we'll take another 1 or 2 days with another method, because there's different ways that people do these things. There's other bookbinding methods as well, but one of those is, I'd love to do it, but I think we'll leave it for a bit more of an advanced class, I think. Alright, so this is what we've got. The first thing I'm going to do is glue this down. You might want it like this so it doesn't show through with the glue. Now I'm definitely using Fabric Fix for this. When it comes to binding, we want really the most heavy duty kind of glues as possible to hold it. Now my book isn't very big, it's not very thick, it's not a super duper multi, it's only got 2 signatures in it. It's a fairly lightweight cover. Still waiting to hear from the doctor what's going on. I'm actually trying to do a few days up with this, just in case she bandages my thumb. So I'm recording as much as possible. Okay, we've got this, and I'm just going to trim this a little bit so it's just a bit neater. We want to match the signatures with this outline of this. So we need a template. It doesn't really matter what you use, just a bit of anything. You could just use a bit of offcut. Cut it to the same size. I'm not giving you measurements because, your book could be twice as high or twice as wide, or it could be a little mini book. I don't know. I don't know what you're making because no one's shown me any photos yet. So it'll be good to see some photos, folks. Come on. I want to see what you've been making. Past the halfway mark. Alright, so we've got a bit of paper for our template. Now we need to find the middle. So, well, obviously this is the easy way to do that. The middle. And I'm going to do this time. Now we're going to do pamphlet stitch. But I was noticing someone did their pamphlet stitch. Okay, so this is an interesting point. I noticed that someone else did their pamphlet stitch right down here and right up here, but for me, with junk journals, you can often have shorter pages, and that would mean that you've only got 1 stitch holding that page in. So I prefer it a little bit more like this. So we've got a spot for all of these. Now, being as it's 2 signatures, I'm going to just fold it in the half so I know where the halfway mark is. Right, but we need a point on either side Now that folding it in half to me just makes me realise, and I'm just getting really clear that I'm not making a mistake with this. Okay, so we've roughly got nearly 2.5 centimetres. So if I do a line here and a line here, we're going to have a gap in the middle between the two signatures, but that's okay because, like I discussed in the last one, it could be a gator mouth. If you put too much in and then stuff it full of pockets and things, you could be in trouble. Right, let's just do a light line. Now you can see where the fold is, this one. Then we're going to put a dot here and a dot here. Here's the middle fold, so we're going to put a dot here and a dot here. And here's this other fold, a dot here and a dot here. So that's our template. Now what we're going to want is to put the holes through. Okay, so this is where one of these comes in handy, like I said yesterday, or we can use the book, or we can use something like this foam sort of thing, which is kind of almost, I got this for some felting, which I've never done before, but I'm going to give it a go. Now I think that this is the way it's going to go. So I'm going to line it up. I wonder if I can do it this way. It'll probably be okay to do it that way. I'll just have to remember. So we're going to line it up with the cardboard and put our awl through here, through the card. Okay, so now you can see that this is where we're going to sew in the signatures. Got my thread, I've got my little needle book. Alright, now I do need to cut these first. When they're sewn in, because they're wide apart, if you try to get them on an angle, they invariably move like that. So it's much easier to cut them like this now. Give them a good bang. When I worked in printing, we were tough as nails in the bindery, we were. I didn't always work in the bindery, but I worked in the photography section. Let me line that up, make sure that's squared up. This little frilly bit, and I think we were putting that at the front. Right, so the general rule is 3 times the length. It's usually more like 2.5, so depending on how frugal you want to be. I started doing 2.5 because I thought it was a bit excessive. Alright, so because we've got an even amount from the top to here, it doesn't matter whether that's the top or that's the top. So this is just the way it is. I always do the back one first. I don't know why. A lot of people do the back one first. Oh, we've got to do one more step. Find the middle. wherever it may be. There's the middle. Now what we need is to work out where we're putting the holes in here. So what I'm eyeballing is the same amount overhang here and the same amount overhang there. So we've just got that little centered bit, and we're going to do a line there, a line there, and a line there. Now this is where you might want to use something like the book. I'm just showing you an easy way. I would usually use my little We Are Memory Keepers. Very handy. Okay, some bulldog clips we'll need before we do that. So we make sure everything's lined up the way we want them to be. This will keep them in place and stop them moving. Just actually going to get this one ready too. I like that one being in the middle. Okay, so we're going to put this into the crease there. Hole through there, hole through there, hole through there. Same with this one. Line this up as good as we can. There, there, there. Alright, so this is going to be the back one. Let me just double check it. There's a spare paper bag there. Yep, 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 yep. So we're going to go through this middle hole, and we're going to go through, because this is the back, this is the front, this is the back, so we're going through the back one. And we're just going to leave a bit there. You're going to come back through this one and back through this top hole. Try and keep it tight. Now, a few people do it different ways. This is the way I learnt it. So I'm coming through the bottom one and through the back of the little spine card. You want to make sure that this is tight, that one's tight, and we're going to come back through the middle again. It's always a little bit interesting getting it back through the middle and out on the other side of that middle string. Now we definitely want to make sure that this is tight, but not tight enough that we're ripping the paper. Okay, tight. And we're going to do, now some people only do the left over right, right over left knot. I kind of tend to do the proper scout knot. Left over right, right over left, left over right, because that will never come undone then. And we trim it. Now, this is also something that different people do. Some people might cut it up really close. I kind of tend to like it down here because I like the look of it. This is just my personal opinion. I like the look of seeing that. I also don't mind the idea some people attach a little dangly thing. I like that idea too. So we've got our first signature sewn in. We don't really need the paper clips there anymore, but we'll just leave them there for now. Alright, so we're definite that this is the top. How do I know which is the top? Because I've got my little envelope up there. And now we're going to sew this one into the back. So we need more of our cotton. 1, 2, 3. And go through the middle again. I've moved a little bit. Through the middle of the backing. Make sure you keep a bit of that tail there. Actually, I'm going to take that clip out of the way because it's getting in that way. Come back through the top hole and into this hole. Out, down through the bottom hole and through this hole. Don't forget we're trying to keep it tight. Not too much slack happening. And then back through this hole and out through the middle. And don't worry if you come out on the other side of, so you've got them both on the same side. Just move one across. Now that feels a bit loose to me, so I'm going to just check where that is. Right, so that one. Tying it off. Okay, so that's day 19. We're going to come back tomorrow and we'll complete the rest of the book. And thanks for watching, and I hope you're enjoying this, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.